Now then, as we saw earlier in the week, the recent burst of unseasonal weather has caused havoc for some in the region, and in particular the farmers who are desperately trying to harvest their crops and keep them dry as well.
Well, harvest is the subject of today's Anglia Allotment, which is where we can join Natalie Gray now. Now, Nat, in a minute we're going to see how I got on with one of our wheat farmers in the region, but what effect has all this rain had on the produce down there?
Well, a lot. Just look at these poor tomatoes. The rain has caused them to split in half. They don't look very nice. And we were hoping to show you a wonderful crop of wheat. But just look at it. It's grey and probably ruined. Happily, David Savage, who grew the crop, had the good sense to harvest some at the weekend before the deluge. And look at the difference. It's all golden. It's gorgeous. And I guess, David, it just highlights the problems farmers have of getting the crop in quickly and keeping it dry.
Yes, well, over the last few days we've had more rain than we had in 4 months of the main growing season, and it's just been terrible.
Now, I suppose I should be asking why a man is growing wheat on an allotment of all things.
Yes, well, we grow it for these local schools. We show them how wheat grows, how it's harvested, and then we make flour from it and then into cakes and biscuits.
Marvellous. And we're actually going to be using David's wheat that's been turned into flour to make something rather delicious, which we'll be showing you later in the programme. Now, of course, this is harvesting on a small scale. And as Emma said, she reports now on harvesting on a much bigger scale.
The humble ear of wheat. To many, it's the symbol of summer. For a farmer, it's a livelihood. Over 10 months of the year, a farmer will invest thousands in growing a crop like this one. But they'll have to wait until harvest before they can reap even a penny of that reward. Which is why now, time really is of the essence.
Time is very important because, as you see, we've got a few spots of rain. Well, we need to get it in as quickly as possible.
Chris Bullen has been driving combine harvesters for 15 years. In that time, technology has transformed the job. Now this latest model even steers itself using satellite navigation.
It can tell me exactly what tonnage I'm getting off the field. It will tell me the moisture of the crop. It can tell me how many tons an hour I'm producing from the combine. This is our livelihood standing in front of us. That's where the profits come from, and if we can't get it off the fields before it falls down on the ground, then we lose out.
Once the crop is harvested, it's brought to the grain store at Scotland Farm in Dry Drayton, where it's weighed and tested for moisture. If it's too wet, as it has been after the recent rain, it will need to be dried. An expensive process which eats into the profits.
If you were to fill this store and you over-dried by 1%, it would make a difference of £30,000. So it's critical that when we dry them, we're obviously getting it to the right moisture, because if we dry it too hard, we're taking more moisture out, which is a reduction in weight. And it's weight, obviously, again, which equates to yield, which then you sell.
The moisture's not the only variable factor to think about. Price is another. The markets rise and fall according to global supply and demand. Many farmers rely on a market trader to advise them when's best to sell. This year, drought and wildfires in Russia, coupled with poor yields in Europe, has sent the price of wheat soaring, which could be good news for our region's farmers.
We saw the market rise 2 years ago significantly when global commodities all went up in value. This time round, it's very much to do with the weather around the world, and we've seen a 50% increase in the price of wheat. We have to go back to 1973 to have seen something similar.
Back at the farm, and dusk is falling. But there's no let-up for Chris and his team. As they work towards the end of one harvest, it won't be long before thoughts turn to the next.
So that's how harvesting is done on a massive scale. And it gives you an insight into how big agriculture is here in the East, and the numbers are really impressive. We're best known for our cereal crops. Would you believe that over a quarter of England's wheat and barley are grown here? Horticulture is big too, not just peas and apples, shrubs and flowers, but we also grow over half the country's entire sugar beet crop, not to mention nearly a third of England's potatoes. No surprise then that horticulture and agriculture means 50,000 jobs right here in the east, not to mention thousands more on associated industries. So that's the big picture. But here we are on the allotment, and harvesting is, of course, taking place right now. I've seen something for the first time, something called a banana marrow, and it's grown by the lovely Peter Keeble here. Peter, I guess this is the result of all your hard work. Has it been worth it?
It's well worth it. Well worth it. There's a much better flavour with the produce we grow on the allotment than when you buy it from the shop.
Definitely?
Definitely, no doubt about it.
But you've been toiling away since March.
Well, that's right, but then it keeps us out of mischief, doesn't it, as well?
Oh, are you a bit of trouble then?
Yes, sometimes.
Let's just have a look, Peter. Look at this wonderful stuff here. What have we got? We've got sweet corn.
Yes, sweet corn, beetroot, onions, runner beans, French beans, cucumber, your banana, courgette, tomatoes, parsnips.
Oh, a fine feast.
That will feed us for the weekend.
Lovely. Well, that's fantastic. Now, you're going to have more from us in a moment, as well as that promised tasty treat.
Looking forward to that, Nat. Yep, you stay out of trouble down there, won't you? Now, staying with the Anglia Allotment, thanks so much for all of your emails throughout the summer. We've loved getting them. Here are just a few more. Let's start with this one from Joan Weiss, who has allotments in her blood. Now, Joan first came to Suffolk working as a land army girl. That was during World War II. Now, though, in her 80s, she lives in Ipswich, where she continues to work the land in her wonderful garden that you can see here. Well, thanks for letting us tell your story, Joan, on that one.
Lovely. Yes, well, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know that our sunflower competition has started something, well, rather big.
Has indeed.
The perfectly shaped specimen on the right is the result of some careful growing by the fine fellow on the left, Mr. Blackburn from Chatteris in Cambridgeshire, so thanks for that.
Well, let's move up to nearly the 12-foot mark now. This fantastic sunflower is almost as lovely as its owners, Eilish Reed, who's 5 years old, and her younger sister, Ellie May, who's just 5 months old, from Braintree in Essex. Well done, girls.
Oh, how sweet. And clearly being small helps you grow big. This is Susanna Lowes from Ely in Cambridgeshire, who is 5.5, standing next to her sunflower, which is over 13 feet tall now. What a fantastic effort.
And you can see more of your sunflower pictures on our Facebook site. That's www.facebook.com/ITV Anglia. Well, as you can see, they certainly made Becky's and Amanda's and mine pale in comparison. In fact, let's head back to the allotment where we can join Amanda now. Amanda, well, if that is mine, it's gone a bit droopy. What's happened to it? That's terrible.
Do you know, they're not looking too bad, but I think they are a real reflection of our characters. For example, this one's mine. It's petite and rather cheerful. The one on the end there, well, you probably guessed whose that is, lean and graceful. That's Becky Jago's. And Jonathan, the one in the middle, well, looking a bit tired. And what can we say? It's probably seen better days, hasn't it? Say no more.
Thanks so much.
I'm only kidding. Anyway, we've had a lot of rain this week, and up to yesterday, 60 millimetres of rainfall was recorded in Leighton in Suffolk, and that meant that was their wettest day since August of 1988. Now, it looks like most of that rain has cleared out of the way, but that all-important question is, how is this bank holiday weekend looking? Let's take a look.
Well, earlier we saw the wheat from David's plot, and here I am turning that wheat into flour. Look at it, looks great, doesn't it? And turning the flour into something tasty is the Anglia Allotment's very own answer to Delia Smith, the lovely Jean Austen. And look at these guys, wonderful jam tarts. I scoffed one earlier, they truly are marvellous. Now, Jean, apart from David's flour, what else is in them?
It's jam made from fruit on my allotment. It's mixed currant jam. It's white currants, red currants and black currants.
Fabulous. Now, how easy are they to make?
Pretty easy. Jam is quite easy to make and pastry is quite easy, and that's all there is to it.
You obviously haven't met me before. Now, listen, let's get a few more people to join this party. We've got Eric and Shirley, who we've met in an earlier series. What have you got, Shirley?
Well, I've got some apples and pears, and they've been freshly picked.
Fabulous. Pop them on the table. Eric, what have you got?
I've got a bucket of plums.
Bucket of plums. And Amanda, what have you got?
I've been digging out some organic carrots.
Fabulous. They're really good. Now, just a little word to say that we are planning to scoff these tarts, guys, so don't think we're going to bring you back any. We are not. But if you want to make them for yourself, you can, because Jean has kindly given us a step-by-step guide, which is going to be on the website after the programme. But I won't come back empty-handed. Look, I've got you a very special carrot. 7-fingered carrot, no less. I think it'll do you both for your tea.
What,
OK, that's it from us.
Why did I just know it was going to be a
Allotment.
7-fingered carrot?
You.
Why did I know it was just going to be the carrot and not the tarts, Natalie? Get
No
those,
tarts,
get those
no
back to
tarts.
us.
Oh, please save one for me. I
Everybody,
love
Amanda.
jam
It looks
tarts.
lovely down there, doesn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, there's loads more on our website as well about the Anglia Allotment, so do head there. And thanks to everyone from down there. Just one more visit this summer. It's in a couple of weeks. Hard to know where all the time's gone, isn't it? So if you've got a message you'd like us to read out at the allotment party, that's in a couple of weeks, and the last programme of the series. Tell us what anything you'd like, really, about what it's done for you.
Absolutely. From spurring you on to getting outside and growing your own, perhaps, to some of the features and characters we've introduced you to, then please do get in touch.
It is the usual address of Jonathan and Becky at ITV.com. We're going to try and read out as many as we can when we get down there for the final programme, as I say, in September. That's it from us. Now, got to say good luck to Roger and Sue, Becky's dad, for their wedding tomorrow. Good luck, guys. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye-bye.